In today's episode, I'll be talking about Survivor, Season 47, Episode 3, Belly of the Beast. So let's dive right into Belly of the Beast. Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the Dub Cast. Starting this episode out, we get the explanation from Gabe on why he played his idol. The reason was a lot of what people suspected online because of season 46, and we got the nice montage of, let's see if I can name them all, Jem, Hunter, Tiffany, Venus, Q. I think that's everyone. Good to see my boy Q back on TV. We'll talk about him in a second. He had another moment later on. Legacy lives on. So that's the reason why Gabe played it. I get it. You know, if you have one on your idol, you got to play it. Makes sense. It wasn't because of Rocks, although it could have still been by Rocks, but they're just proving to show us that season 46. But it makes sense. That was really the sentiment at the time of when they went out to go film. That, you know, you need to play your idol if you have it. We saw all those people go out in a row with the idols. So I think they went out on the Tiffany blind side, especially, so that was the last episode they saw. So really something strong there. So smart by Gabe. You know, you can always find one back. He seems to be in a decent enough position where, yeah, I think that was fine. It doesn't really matter. You know, I mean, everyone knew at the tribal council that he already had it. So go ahead, play it. It doesn't really do much. So we have Sue, who was on the right side of the vote, is upset with Kyle. Obviously, Kyle is the only one from the tribe that did not vote for TK. So Sue knows that, and she's going to take him voting for her personally. Now, this is on my Sue radar. This is not a good move. You cannot take these moves personally. You need, and especially in a very small tribe, you need every person on your side. You need to have working relationships with everybody. Cutting somebody off by the way that cuts off Sue Sue cuts off Kyle. Not good, bro. I'm worried for Sue's prospects in the near future. We'll talk about a scene later that happens as well, but this is not, you know, I get it right after tribal council. It's tough, you know, that someone just voted for you to leave the game, but you need to take a moment, take a deep breath and say, you know, it's just a game. We can get back in this. We can work together. You need to use all people at your assets. You can't just be all upset. You got to keep emotions out of it. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. So on the Yellow Tribe, we have them faltering with the shelter, which is a rare sight in the new era. I feel like we don't really usually get insights into the camp life and shelter. We get insights into camp life. Obviously, that's a whole fucking show. But like the ins and outs of the shelter, getting the water and stuff. So Sam and Annika are at odds when it comes to building the shelter. Annika, we saw in episode 1, is kind of this more bossy personality. She feels like she's the one to run everything, knows how to do everything. She read books and stuff. So they kind of are okay with letting her take the lead, but it's really starting to get to Sam. I mean, you've been out there for a week with someone 24/7. It's at odds. Annika feels the same way about Sam. She knows that he's upset. It even ends up with, you know, him trying to chop something. She's like, we've been sawing it, and then he saws it and instantly falls off. So that was a bad moment for Sam because you're instantly proven wrong. Those are the worst moments. Yeah, they feel pretty uncomfortable in their shelter, and they want to build a new one. And Sam's like, we can't build a fucking Ritz-Carlton, which makes sense. Yeah, you're only used to being out for the 20. You have like 2 weeks left. You'd be good. And you would merge together, make a new thing. So I don't know. Interesting to see that the shelter's still playing a big factor. Now, meanwhile, Andy's sitting in the back, like, all chill because now he's not under fire, so that's good for Andy's return chances. I think he's going to make it far in this game because he's the Emily Flippin of the season. I think I said that last week. He's the guy who's cast out, thinks he's left out of the vote and stuff. Or he is left out of the vote, but now he is an ally with Sam. He worked on his relationship a lot with Sierra in this episode, so I think that's a strong 3 heading into the next couple weeks if they don't swap. So good job on Andy for recovering after what was a disastrous week 1 performance. So props to Andy on that one. On the Red Tribe, we have Rome, disastrous with the camp life. More looks into camp life. So Rome, obviously them having won the fishing kit, he is fishing and asking and expecting tribe members to do things for him. This is like, come on, bro, you got to keep these thoughts to yourself. And obviously it's Rome, so it's like he's not going to keep this stuff to himself. But especially his conversations with Genevieve, it seems like he's like, I would expect at least people to like get the pot ready for me, and, you know, very like egotistical, very self-centered. I would not vibe well with Rome, I don't think. So it even devolves worse when he is at camp with Asia and the rest of the Red Tribe, and he catches 4 fish, splits 2 of them between the 6 of them, and then eats 2 for himself. He makes sure he stands right next to Asia while he eats the fish. Yeah, this rivalry did not go well. Obviously, spoilers, Asia's voted out, so, this rivalry won. This was giving Katurah versus Bruce. That's what I was seeing, and it's weird because Katurah went out, and now we see the kind of Katurah figure lose out in Asia. It's unfortunate what happened to Asia, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Anyways, this rivalry, it's we saw it start to brew last episode with Asia asking him why he didn't get drafted, kind of making fun of him. Hello, Mr. Gamer from episode 1. So this was kind of built up into this 3-episode arc, and now Asia out the door. Rome wins this battle. I'm really shocked that Rome is somehow in it. We'll talk about later. I was pretty upset with the vote, but things happen. So on the Yellow Tribe, we get more interactions. Sam has never had watermelon. He apparently hasn't eaten any fruit. I'll be honest, I haven't eaten a raspberry either. I don't think I've had like strawberries, blueberries. Watermelon's a crazy one, bro. How have you never eaten you never even tried a watermelon? That shit's crazy. Everyone eats watermelon. Summer, and I think he's a reporter for the Tennessee Titans. In Tennessee, bro, it gets hot. You need to eat some watermelon, rehydrate. I don't know. This one didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but it seems like every fucking season there's some weird shit going on with someone, and like last season Mariah didn't know how to jump, which I didn't even know was a thing. Now we get this with watermelon. Okay, bro. Like, I like Sam, so I'm not gonna go after him too much. But I was with everyone else. Like, come on, dude. Some of the other stuff they were saying, like an heirloom tomato. Like, fuck tomatoes. Nobody eats tomatoes. Stop. I don't know. So this is the Andy and Sierra development scene I'm talking about. Obviously, they're walking on the path. Andy's working on his game. Trajectory's on the way up. He offers to give Sierra his shot in the dark, which, yeah, you don't need your shot in the dark because you need your vote if you're gonna stay. I think automatically I don't know about the shot in the dark. That's if like worst comes to worst, you have no, like, it's 4 versus it is 4 versus 1 on him, but he now knows he has Sam, and if he gets Sierra's trust, that's 2 people on his side, so he knows he needs his vote if he's gonna want to stay in this game. So I think this is a really smart move by Andy. Give out that fucking shot in the dark like crack rocks. Like, I don't give a fuck. Or that's not what I was saying. That's not the saying I meant, but give that shit out, bro. You don't need that. Now you gain trust with Sierra and Sam, so that's a good trio I'm looking at. I like that squad. I'm ready for them to rue the day. I still like Rachel and Annika, though. I like everyone on the Yellow Tribe. This season's kind of tough for me because I like everybody for their own ways. I'm starting to... Being a podcaster and watching the show take place... No, I'm just kidding, but I do really like a lot of people on the show right now, so it's tough when somebody has to go home. But I'm liking this little trio action between Andy, Sierra, and Sam that's seemingly heading into the next episode. So back on Blue Tribe, Gabe, noting that Kyle is on the bottom, picks him up, which is a smart move, but turns out Kyle wants Gabe out. So Kyle tries to pull in Caroline and Sue, but Sue is still harboring that resentment from the vote for her. Not good, because Gabe wants Tiana out, but Kyle is close with Tiana, so he doesn't want that. And good for Kyle, man. I ripped on him last week for not playing the game, but he was actually trying to make moves here. It turns out he just ran into fucking Sue, who's being, like, very... What's the word? She has her walls up for no reason. Well, she has a reason, but I don't think that's justified, Hopefully in a couple of days this can settle, because I want Gabe out of that tribe if I had to pick somebody. But I feel like he's longer for the game. I think... Well, we'll talk about my next 3 out, but... So that's where we're at with the Blue Tribe, still holding strong with this. Caroline and Sue are a duo. They have Gabe seemingly with them as well, and if it came down to it at the moment, I think they'd have Tiana versus Kyle, but Kyle and Tiana still have a relationship, so there's the dynamics in the Blue Tribe. Not even sure if we check in with them again, what we do with we'll get to it. So, randomly the boat comes up with no warning, so it's a journey time. I found it interesting the way the 3 different tribes handled this. So on the Blue Tribe, Kyle wins by pulling rock, seemingly. So no one wanted to go. They just did it by random draw. Annika goes by just saying, I want to go if nobody else wants to. So that's a good power move by her. Take control of your legacy. It's questionable because Sam's against you, but, she doesn't really know that. And then we get a Soul versus Rome. Rock, paper, scissors. Rome wins. I wonder how this tribal would have been different if Soul got that rock, paper, scissors, butterfly effect. But Rome wins the rock, paper, scissors, so it's Rome, Annika, and Kyle all going this journey. Asia, while Rome is on the boat, clocks him already having an idol. She says he already has something in his pocket, I know. So, good moves by Asia, even though she did see him in the first episode with Mr. Gamer. So, good for her for picking up on that signal. But it was kind of like a Gabe situation where they all knew anyway, I think. So, here we go on this journey where they all meet up, and Rome is happy that TK is gone. The most ironic quote of the episode, because he's gone because he had an ego. Rome, brother, people are going to come after you on Twitter. I've already seen it in the comments of my TV Time. Shout out TV Time, not sponsored, but I love that app. Anyways, it's sad, bro. You're going to get a lot of hate, and it's, I think, somewhat warranted, because this is a very ironic statement when most of the segments in the Red Tribe has been calling out your ego. So there's that. We'll talk about that later. I have all these thoughts coming to my head, and I have notes later I don't want to talk about, so I'm going to just save it for that. But this was a weird reaction where he was happy that TK was gone. I don't know. I guess there is a whole thing about people being on different tribes and you don't really know them, so you're rooting for certain people and stuff. And even going further into that, they think that Sam and Sierra are a couple. Both the tribes think that they're dating. Annika confirms that they are working closely together, but they are not actually dating. Turns out Sam has a fiance back home and to be engaged, and Sierra also has a very close boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't know if she's whatever, but she has a partner that is very close to asking her to marry her as well. So good for both of them. They're in relationships, but no dating. So that was kind of a tease from the last week's Next Time On, where we just got Annika asking them for dating, but that was because the other tribes mentioned it. So that was a really funny thing. I think also Jeff mentioned preseason that there would be a fake showman, so I'm sure this is 95% it. So Rome says that Asia and Sol are the ones running the show on his tribe, trying to throw them under the bus for the other teams. Not sure if they took the bait, though, because we don't see this followed up on. Obviously, Asia is out of the game now, so I'm not sure how much this really matters. So yeah, on the journey, we have a 1 in 3 chance for an advantage you have to choose, which you automatically have to choose one of the things anyway. So there's 2 lose vote scrolls, and there's 1 advantage scroll. So if you lose your vote on the first one, you can have a chance to go on for a 50% chance, get your vote back at the advantage. If not, you can get the other lose your vote, so you lose your vote for 2 tribal councils. This is stupid that you have to do this. I miss the days when you could just opt out. I would just opt out of all these things. Well, I wouldn't even go on this fucking journey anyway. But I guess, it's Survivor, do your journeys. So we see Kyle picks the lose vote. He's going to keep it, just lose his vote for 1 tribal council. That seems like the smart play for him. He's on the bottom. He can't afford to lose 2 if he somehow even survives the next tribal council. So thought that was a smart decision. Annika does the same thing. Also a smart decision. She doesn't know it, but I think she's on the horizon of being voted out. So she no longer has a vote for the next tribal council. And of course, Rome, when he pulls his chip, it's the advantage first try. He gets a steal vote. Production rigging, I think that people are probably going to say, I don't know, how can you rig something like this? So I'm going to say, it happens, or happened. So Rome now has a steal a vote, advantage, and an idol. So good for him. He's loaded up. He's dried up with all the idols and advantages and stuff, ready to abuse them and waste them this tribal. But yeah, so Annika brings the news back that everyone thinks that Sam and Sierra are dating. Obviously, they're pissed about it. Both of them having fiancés at home. Sam makes a proclamation to his fiancée that he's been talking about her every day, and then they don't show clips of her. I thought that was a little weird. Clips of him talking about her. I thought CBS could do a little bit better job backing up my boy Sam. If I was the girl, I'd have a little bit of questions. And Sierra is hoping that when she gets back home, her partner asks her to marry them or marry her. So there you go. So we see the 3 different methods or not 3 different, 2. You have to go back to your camp and tell the truth or tell a lie. So Kyle tells his blue tribe everything, tells him the whole truth. He lost his vote. He doesn't have his vote for the next tribal council, the whole game, everything. Annika lies to her tribe, but then she tells Rachel and Sierra right after that she did lose her vote. So just to throw off Andy. So it seems like Rachel and Sierra Rachel and Annika are still focused on Andy. But it seems like there's other things cooking, girls. You might want to start recruiting him, but it doesn't seem like they really have any prospects of doing that at all. Annika mentions she thinks she's close with Sierra, but you said that Sierra's close with Sam, so something's not connecting for Annika, at least what we're seeing. I think it's the Andy thing she's missing. I think she thinks they can just put Sam on the bottom once Andy goes. I don't know. Best of luck to you, girl. So Rome, on his tribe, he lies to his tribe as well. He tells Teeny the truth, pushing them into a relationship with Keyshawn and Rome and Genevieve. They want to go with them because with Rome having all these advantages, it's hard to get him out. Makes sense, but we'll talk about it after the challenge. I'm pissed off about this, but Teeny has jumped ship to the Rome, Genevieve, and Keyshawn camp, which we didn't even know that Keyshawn and Genevieve. Well, we knew Genevieve and Rome were a close pair, but we didn't know that Keyshawn was in this with Teeny, and possibly like Teeny and Keyshawn are the swings here. So that was really interesting to learn that while this tribal council plays out. So we get to the challenge. Keyshawn mentions that he is scared of swimming. Well, he never says this is my thing with this. He never said he was scared of swimming. He's like, Jeff's like, is this different than when you've seen it on TV? And Keyshawn's like, yeah, it's different. Like, I learned how to swim 4 months ago. And then they're like, who's sitting out? I forget. Oh, Genevieve's going to sit out. And Jeff's like, Keyshawn, you're not going to swim out. You said you're terrified. He's like, I'm going to get after this shit. And then they, this was weird because Jeff's like, you were so scared. And Keyshawn's like, yeah, Jeff was trying to bring PTSD in my boy. Like, he did fine in the challenge. He killed it swimming. Good for him. 4 months in, he's on a Survivor swimming challenge. And Jeff's like, you were so scared on this. You're not sitting out. Dude, get a grip, Jeff. Jeez. So we also see a rare moment of them strategizing before the challenge. Usually it's like, go strategize on what you're going to do for this challenge, blah, 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 and the yada yada, and we don't see it. But this was a rare moment of them actually showing it. So we see Rome versus Soul battling on who's going to be the first diver, because the first buoy you have to go get is the toughest, hardest one to get because it's the furthest underwater. So eventually Soul just lets Rome win over. He's going to be the first one to dive. I think there was Yellow Tribe. Andy was like, I'm going to do everything. I can kill it on this challenge. Of course, he sucks like right away. Genevieve's going to sit out, and Genevieve, during this challenge, we finally got some Genevieve this episode where I finally know what her voice sounds like. I can actually put like a voice to the face because she was invisible the first 2 episodes. Her whole thing in this challenge while she's sitting on the sit-out bench is reaching for the idol, or reaching for the clue that's not there, saying, where are you? Girl, you got to watch New Era Survivor. They haven't done that since like late 30 seasons, maybe. So 39, Elaine had a thing at the challenge. That's the last one I'm remembering. So that was funny though, seeing her, getting her some personality from Genevieve, getting some confessionals from Genevieve. We finally know who Genevieve is. As mentioned before, Andy's going to fuck this one up, saying after he be good at all aspects of it as the first diver, he's super late. He's the last diver of them to get the first buoy. Andy, let's get after it, bro. You got to at least prove your worth in the challenges if you're going to get this comeback season, but I'm here for it. So hopefully you can do it. So the challenge, you dive off this big tower, go and get a buoy underwater. The first one does, and you go in pairs. One person gets the buoy off a bridge, one person gets the other one from underwater. So it's really, you have to cross a balance beam as well, and then do a puzzle. The puzzle is really cool, actually. It's like a seahorse. You put the pieces in and it kind of goes like that. So really like that challenge, or the aesthetics of the seahorse puzzle. That was a cool one. I like the animals. When they put the animals on there, cool moments, like it. So essentially blue and yellow just pull way ahead. It took Red just a shit ton of time. Rome did pretty well on the first diver. As first diver, the other 2 pairs took a little bit of time to get the other buoys, so blue and yellow inherently had an advantage with the puzzle, had a bunch of time, figured out pretty quickly. Shout out to the puzzle doers. Blue, I think it was Gabe and Caroline. They killed it. They won second. And then yellow is Rachel and I forget who else it was, but they killed it as well. So props to them for winning the puzzle, doing really well. I'm always worried about how I do on puzzles when I go out there. Asia and Keyshawn just had no chance in this puzzle. They were out of time and weren't connecting it fast enough. So back to Red for the pre-tribal shenanigans. Keyshawn says, this was another weird note for me. He's like, just so we don't have a Q moment. What are we doing? Like, does anyone want to go home? Okay, now I get it, because Q didn't mention it at the tribal council, or he only mentioned it at the tribal council. Funny moment. Q has secured his spot in season 50, I think, unless Rome? Depending on how far Rome can get, I think no. Q's the biggest lock on the board. Already, he was mentioned this episode twice already. He was mentioned in episode 2, I believe, and episode 1 for sure. I know he was mentioned. So Q's legacy lives on. He's going to be back for season 50. Pack your bags, bro. I can't wait to see you out there. And if Q somehow wins season 50, I'll be fucking insufferable. So you guys better hope that doesn't happen. That's my favorite player. So Teeny is pushing it. The vote essentially we get this Phantom Alliance that appeared out of nowhere that I mentioned before between Keyshawn, Teeny, Genevieve, and Rome. Obviously, Teeny mentioned going to their side because Rome has all the power with all the advantages. Teeny knowing that Asia is this podcaster for Rob Has a Podcaster. Rob Has a Podcast. Shout out Rob Has a Podcast. This will be the last time we talk about you, unfortunately, on this podcast, but I support you guys. Big fan of the pod if you're ever somehow listening to this, but enough of that. So Teeny, knowing that Asia is this podcaster for survivors, like in niche stuff, like cool stuff, whatever, they connected in episode 1. She saved a spot for her in the Alliance, and now she's saving her again because it's between Asia and Sol. The other 4 want to go on that. Rome wants to get Asia out right away, but Teeny seems to make some good points for Sol, saying if they were to come back to camp, then they would have to look for something because Rome has to play his idol tonight, and Teeny says, keeps saying Sol would be better if we had to look for something, seemingly changing Rome's mind that Sol would be the person to vote out, not Asia. So this is going to create trouble later, but we'll talk about that in a second. So Rome brings the fake plan to Sol that they are going to vote out Asia, saying if Boston Rob is the godfather, the godson got to be out there somewhere, right? And my opinion on Rome, like, obviously he's your egotistical maniac, like you're supposed to hate him, but I'm kind of liking his like the dude's just laid back there in a bucket hat, like just chilling, like he's living. This is Survivor Rome so far. What can you say? Like this is his show right now, and we're just in it. Like who else? I mean, he's gonna get voted out at some point, probably maybe next week, but at this point, like you gotta appreciate Rome's giving us a character. I'm here for it. Just delusional. So Sol doesn't really believe him about this because Sol also didn't believe him about the idol that he supposedly had. Yeah, not a great sell by Rome. He really goes into like panic mode. At least it seemed like for me watching on TV. I don't know if Sol picked up on it where he's like, yeah, now why would I ever do that? like he was very bad. I thought that was a pretty easy tell, but I don't know if Sol picked up on that completely. So, Teeny and Keyshawn wanting to work with Asia. Keyshawn wants to work with Asia. He wants to use her in the future. Teeny also having that connection to Asia. They try and loop Asia into the plan to vote out Sol, but Asia is not having it. Obviously, her and Sol are the pair, so it's her and Sol are the pair. Teeny and Keyshawn are a pair, and then Rome and Genevieve are a pair. That's the dynamics I broke down, so why would Asia want to vote out her closest ally? I have a substitute plan, and why didn't we do this? Obviously, it's a very easy answer, but how about this plan? Since Rome's going to play an idol tonight, we don't tell him, we fake him out, we fake him and Genevieve out. Keyshawn and Teeny vote for Rome. Asia and Sol vote for Genevieve. And I think that's what they were doing because the vote ends up being 3-1 to 1. 3-1 to 1, yeah, with the canceled vote for Sol, or canceled vote for Rome. So if we went through with that plan, you get Rome out on a revote, or you get Genevieve out on a revote, flush the idol. No more power, Teeny, so no more excuses for why you don't need to vote out Asia. That's a simple plan, bro. It's a 2v2v2. On a revote, you revote, get your person out. You have 3-on-1 in a revote, or 2-on-1 in a revote. I guess it gets sketchy, but I don't know. I really wanted that to happen because I like Asia. I don't really listen to a lot of her podcasts because I don't know. I don't listen to the Big Brother ones that she does. But man, that's what I wanted. Obviously, the clear answer is Teeny just wanted to be with Rome and Keyshawn and Genevieve. It makes sense. You have a good 4 there. Keyshawn seemingly, I don't know, has mixed feelings about Asia. I don't know what's going on with all that. So I really wanted the split vote because I wanted Asia to stay in the game. Obviously, rooting for the Rob Has podcast crew, but what do I fucking know? So we get to Tribal Council. Nothing really of note here that I took down. Keyshawn says that there's a core 4, which I thought was really stupid. I don't know why you would mention that at Tribal Council. I know it's an hour long, but you never be specific. You got to be vague as fuck and just make analogies. Just pull Drew and pull some like classic literature out of there, and you'll fucking be up on Jeff's like love list. But saying there's a core 4, and he's like, I'm not gonna say who. Okay, yeah, that's a good place to stop, dude. Don't say that in the first place. Jeez. We wrap things up right before we're about to vote, and Asia makes a final comment / threat. I thought this was way too threatening. I thought Asia was going. Watching Survivor with my mom, we always guess who's going to go right before the vote. I said Asia. I just thought the vibes were off. She thought that Sol was going. But yeah, this final comment from Asia, she's like, wait, before we go, if the people that I think are voting with me, you better vote with me. Like, you're about to leave the game, honey. That's really not going to do much. Sorry. Love you, but I'm heartbroken. So Rome has the idol in his hat, plays it for himself. Obviously, only being there for one tribal council, he's got to play it tonight. So he does, cancels one vote on him. It's a 3-1 vote with the canceled vote for Rome. Asia is out of the game. Damn, that stinks. I wanted Asia to do well. I was completely wrong on my winner shit. Clearly, I know nothing about this Edgic. I had her in my top 3 last week. Yeah, we'll miss you. R.I.P. Asia. It's devastating. So, another good episode of Survivor. I think this is maybe my favorite. No, I don't know. This season's been like good, but not great so far. So I'm hoping we get some more action, we get some more intensity. I like the way things are trending this right now. So, top 3 for winners. Welcome to the top 3 winner list. Teeny, I got them in over Asia now, taking Asia's place. I'm picking one from each tribe again. Seemed like they were controlling this vote. Sorry, they were controlling this vote. They picked the side that had Rome and Genevieve and Keyshawn, but it seems like them and Keyshawn together are a really tight duo. I like Keyshawn's game ability as well, so I think they could be a really good duo moving forward. They can kind of pick Soul back up if they want to and take out Rome or Genevieve. So there you go. I'm liking Teeny's chance. She's my number 1 winner right now. Number 2, I got Sam. Kind of a cool down episode for Sam. I feel like some of the things that we saw him do in this episode were not great for like a winner edit. But he's kind of proven right with Annika being a little bossy and stuff. So I don't know. I can't read into Edgic shit, so I'm going Sam number 2. He's my guy as well, my rooting interest. I don't know, I vibe with him. Third, I have Tiana. Didn't see anything for me to take away from her. I thought this was a really bad episode for Sue. Seemingly, we're not supposed to be on her side with the whole Kyle thing. Thought this was a good Kyle episode, but his position's not good enough at all. And then on the Blue Tribe, it's like Caroline has basically had not a lot of lines on the show, and Gabe is just a maniac. So I'm going with Tiana from the Blue Tribe. Those round out my top 3. Teeny, Sam, and Tiana. Top 3 winner picks as of right now. And it was really hard for me to see the vision on anyone else, to be honest. So I think one of those right now has got to be the winner. Next 3 out, we'll do one from each tribe as well. Now, Red Tribe, stay with me. I think it's going to be Rome. He's been way overexposed in the edit. He's been shown way too much. Obviously, it's Rome, so you have to show him. But we haven't seen anything of the other potential boots between Soul and Genevieve. They haven't even been shown on the show. Usually before they get booted, they get a little package. I really don't think it's going to be either of them. And I don't think Tina and Keyshawn are going anywhere either, so I think Rome will be out next unless he finds some sort of advantage. I don't know how that's going to be on that, because it seems like next episode they're all going to be looking together with Soul, trying to stop him from finding something. On Blue Tribe, I'm stuck between Caroline and Gabe. I think it's going to be Caroline. I think, we could see a lot of her next episode, and then she goes. I don't know. It could be Gabe, though. I don't know if Sue turns on Gabe, though. It seems like Sue would choose Caroline over Gabe. So it would have to be Caroline. It would have to be Gabe flipping again. I'll change that, actually. I think Gabe will be next out. So say Rome and Gabe for Blue Tribe. And then Yellow Tribe, this is the most obvious one. I think it's Annika. No vote. It's just Rachel on her side. I think the formation is forming between Andy, Sam, and Sierra. They've given us that context this whole time. So those are my next 3 out. Rome, Caroline, and Annika. So that'll wrap up Survivor Season 47, Episode 3, Belly of the Beast. What do you guys think of this episode? What do you think of my takes? Am I right? Am I wrong? Who's your top 3 winners and who's your top 3 out next? Would love to know. Leave it down in the comments. If you want more Survivor content, we'll be covering every week of Survivor 47 and did Survivor 46. Other podcasts just did NFL Week 5 predictions. Wow, we're in week 5, yeah. And NCAA week 6, the quick 10 minutes I do at the end of that. So that will be coming out on the same day as this, Thursday, the 3rd. And also we did MLB postseason predictions. That's already in shambles. So if you want to see my shitty ass bracket, go ahead. That dropped on Tuesday. And then Wednesday we did UFC 307. Should be an electric event in Salt Lake City. Went through that card looking at the betting picks for that one, giving my picks, an analysis for each fight for that. So it's a good time in the Dubcast. Also did Dune reviews, Dune 1, Dune 2, out earlier this week. Coming up, heading to vacation in Ohio. So that'll be fun for the weekend. May have a movie review in the works for you guys. It'll either be Awakenings or it will be Awakenings if it comes out. If not, you can expect Awakenings by Monday. And then the next movie review after that will be Nightcrawler. So 2 more movie reviews coming. Survivor next week, NFL, NCAA next week. So like and subscribe. Appreciate the support, even by just viewing the video, liking, disliking, doing anything. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to keep making these no matter what. So stick along for the ride. Let's go. And as always, be easy.